It's Wednesday, the 22nd of March. My name is Ben Reeve, and welcome back to the Hoop Show for another Wednesday edition. I didn't get to do one last week. I was a bit snowed under with some work stuff, but there's a few things I want to talk about this week. Now, a couple of headlines. Probably the biggest one, really, for the whole week has been the bump rule and the big discussion or the debate about is the bump gone? Is there room in the game for the bump still? I looked very closely at the Keziah Pickett incident, and I wasn't happy with the outcome. Not the outcome, or happy that the player himself, Bailey Smith, wasn't injured too badly, but the tribunal outcome, well, not lack of a tribunal, really. They just gave him 2 weeks and he accepted it. Of course he's going to accept it, but that looked like a horrible incident to me, so I wasn't really happy with it. But a lot of the talk this week's been focused on this, do we bring in a sin bin, and what are the ramifications of that? What if a bloke pretends to be concussed so you can get, what if a fringe player from another team goes off, so where Jeremy Cameron has to sit on the bench for however long the other guy's on the bench, that kind of stuff that was floating around. Look, I don't have the answers. I guess probably my gut tells me that I'm not really comfortable with the sin bin idea. I don't really like it. I probably need to think about it a little bit more. But I do feel like there is no place in the game for the bump anymore. I love it when Big Baby Guthrie just comes in from a mile away and cannons into someone, but I'm probably equally happy with a big, strong tackle, as long as it's not a sling tackle. So, look, is there room in the game for it? I'm probably starting to think there isn't. I think it's time to move on. I think the game is exciting and fast enough, and it probably won't lose a lot if you take the bounce out of it. So, I don't know. Look, I think we'll probably still have a bit of a mixed opinion on that. It does sound like more and more people are coming to the viewpoint that maybe the bump is maybe not dead yet, but it's not far away from being dead. So, yeah, that's the other one. Look, the other big issue that came out of the weekend, and mostly out of the Geelong game, and I know this is a Geelong show, but it has been discussed quite widely, is the turf issues at the MCG and a few of the injuries that came out of that. Thankfully, it did settle down a little bit after that Friday night game, and it wasn't too bad for the rest of the weekend. But, yeah, it did seem like it was stepping on a piece of paper on a tiled floor and just sliding along like it. It didn't seem very safe for those players, and it wasn't just those injuries that were happening. It was guys running in straight lines. Anna Pavlo was on the show the other night, and she was on Sunday night show, and she was talking about it and watching guys run up and down the boundary line and seeing them just slipping in a straight line. It was ridiculous what was going on. So hopefully we'll see an improvement in the turf condition this round. It won't be the same kind of stuff, but that'll be great. Look, probably the other thing I just want to talk about is go through each of the teams. Now, I should point out, this gentleman here, me, Ben Reeve from the Hoop Show, did pick Essendon to finish in the top 8. And where is Essendon sitting on the ladder, everyone? Number 1, I tell you. They are currently sitting number 1. So I was very happy with that, and I made sure I let Paul James know all about that, because he was probably my biggest detractor on that one. But other Essendon news, I'm going to go through all the teams. It was really good to see Anthony Tip and Woody playing footy again. It was a bit of an emotional return for Don's fans, and I'm sure for himself as well. Buddy Franklin, on to Sydney. That's great. Coughing away. Buddy Franklin, the Sydney game, he's rubbed out as well. 2 weeks, I think 1 week I think he got for that one. Sorry about the cough. Got a week for the high bump on that one as well. We talked about Melbourne and Keziah Pickett. Not really much more to say other than Melbourne's looking pretty good. Round 1, early days. You don't want to be peaking too early like they did last year, but they're off to a good start. So I imagine that'll continue. I'm probably picking them to beat Brisbane, but I'll do my tips in a separate video. Port Adelaide, the Hornet. Horn Francis looks really good in his debut for that club. He should be fine. I think he's going to have a long, long history in the. Can we say black and white, or are we still saying teal? I don't know. What do you think? Are you happy with the new Guernsey? Anyway, St Kilda got off to a good start under Ross the Boss for his first game back at the club, I should say. So it's good for them. I don't imagine they're going to go too well this year, but it's always nice to start the season off with a loss. I wouldn't know that because we lost last week. But anyway, speaking of the team we lost to, Collingwood, their ball movements are scary good at the minute. Jeremy Howe had some surgery on that broken arm, so hopefully he'll recover. And won't have too many complications in that journey for him. So hopefully he's back on the field pretty quickly. GWS, it looks like the Orange Tsunami's back. Stephen Caniglio looks like he's back to his best form as well. Hopefully he has a good run, and he's had a lean couple of years there. And it is good for Sydney if you can get them. And if you get the two Sydney teams up and going, it's good for the game up there. So, and that is probably the market, and probably the Brisbane market, the two that struggle the most. So if we can get some Not that you want to give them wins, but it is good for the competition if they're winning games, whether you like their style or not. North Melbourne, Harry Sheasel, the big Sheasel, as we all thought he was going to get the Rising Star nod for his 34 touches, second most, I think, after Diesel Williams since 1984, I think. So that was pretty crazy. So, yeah, good start for North. And a team like St Kilda, another team that you're really happy to get a win early. And, if they can get 6 or 7 or 8 wins, I think they'll count that as a good start under their new coach. And who knows, maybe they'll do more. Maybe they'll be a surprise packet. You never know. There's always some teams that surprise you year to year and they come out of nowhere. Look, Carlton, probably the story for them out of the week, other than the draw really with Richmond, is the Steve Silvani decided not to pose with the family for the 100 games for his son. So that was I can kind of understand why. I think he left the club in pretty bad terms, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was one of those moments where you want to suck it up a little bit, and it's a pretty big deal for your son to play 100 games. Not many players in the AFL. It probably feels like a lot too, but really, like considering the number of players that come into the system, not many play 100 games, so it would have been a pretty big deal to be there. Richmond, probably the talk really, again, other than the draw, is some of their premiership players like Cochin and Rewalt getting on in age, didn't really produce a hell of a lot on that Thursday night game. Are they still, are they going to be able to make it out through the season? Have they still got some fire in the tank? Are they going to be rested? Are some other players going to take their spots? Would the Richmond coaching panel dare do that? Drop some of those heroes of their club for some younger guys? That's going to be a tough decision if they can't sort of find it. One game's not much of a sample size really, but anyway, one game. West Coast is probably the one that we're all worried about. Well, I'm not. I hope they burn in hell because they beat us in 2 grand finals. But no, they've lost 25 out of 27 games, so they are really, really struggling at the moment and don't look like they're going to be competitive. And through that stretch, they've lost by an average margin of 44 points. So they are in dire straits, the old West Coast Eagles. Jesse from True Footy is not too happy with them. I'm sure he's not too happy with them at the moment. Check his show out as well. He's a good bloke. Adelaide, it's definitely not alphabetical order, but they were pretty good. They were very competitive. They had a loss to GWS, but they were very competitive considering it was an interstate trip. So I'm expecting them to get some more wins this year. I think they should be fine. Geelong, the word at the moment is Tom Stewart's out for about 4 weeks. It's not as bad as maybe what we thought it was going to be. It could have been a medium-term 12-weeker or worst case scenario, even the whole season. So thankfully, he's likely to not be out for too long. And Sam De Koning, while they're saying he's going to play, I still think maybe he won't. I don't know. So they're saying he's very likely to play Carlton, but until I see him run out there on the Thursday night, I'm not too sure. Fremantle, I hate Fremantle. Sorry guys. You Cat, I know you're a big Freo man, but another YouTuber, good bloke. But I just don't rate them at all. They do my head in with the tipping every time. I cannot pick them. I think I'm picking them at home this week, but yes, if I pick Fremantle in my tips, do the opposite because they will not win. If I don't tip Freo, pick Freo. I think that's just they're out to get me, people. They are out to get me. I'm telling you. Look, Brisbane. Yeah, it's not panic stations yet. Maybe some people think it is panic stations yet. But if they lose to Melbourne, they'll go 0-2. I don't know. We could lose to Carlton, going 0-2 as well. And 2 of the premiership fancies at the start of the year start 0-2. I mean, do you worry about that? I don't know. I think Isaac Smith said, look, judge us around 9 or 10 and see how many wins and losses we've got at that point. Don't worry about the first couple of weeks of the year. Doesn't mean you're guaranteed to start getting wins. Be more concerned about the style of footy that we're playing and what Brisbane are playing as well at the moment. Look, Bulldogs, Rory Lobb, first game, he's out with injury. I think he's having ankle surgery, so that's a bit of a shame for him. He was a big ticket player that coming in. And Gold Coast, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. I know a lot of you out there are believing the Gold Coast hype and think the fairy tale's going to come true for Stewie Jew. He's another one that I'm quite happy to burn in hell. I'm burning everyone in hell today. He ruined us in 2008, single-handedly stole the game from us in that third quarter. What a prick. What an arsehole. I don't like you, Stewie Joe. But that's okay. Look, you got your premiership, and now you can just burn in hell for eternity in the Gold Coast. Enjoy it. Another team that's going to burn in hell, I'm telling you, we're staying on this burning in hell theme, is Hawthorn. They had absolutely no answers against the lowly rated Bombers, the number 1 ranked team in the comp, if you haven't heard. So they're cooked as well. But anyway, look, it's been It's been a fun round one. I've really enjoyed watching a lot of footy. Probably too much footy, really. I probably should have done some housework or some other things, but I've been a little bit more productive with my life anyway. But anyway, what did you think? Did you enjoy the footy being back? You happy you getting excited for round two? It's only a day away now. Cat's going to kick it off against Carlton on Thursday night at the MCG. I won't be getting to the game, unfortunately, this time, but we'll be watching it on telly. So, spending the night with my lovely. I'm going to go out for dinner and then catch the game. So, you got to get the balance right, people. I'm big into the Catters. I won't be missing the game, but I just won't be getting up to the MCG 2 weeks in a row for that one. So, anyway, thank you for watching. As always, like and subscribe and comment, and we'll see you on the next one. Go Catters!